How to stop burnout from destroying your life. Have you ever felt lost? Like you're stuck in the same loop every day? You wake up, go to work, do what you have to do. But deep down, you honestly hate it. You don't even know why you keep going anymore. It's not because you want to, it's because you're running on empty. You're giving so much of yourself that you really ain't got nothing left. That's burnout. It's something that almost everyone experiences, even if we don't recognize it. I've been through it. I've been there, completely drained, disconnected, feeling like nothing really does matter. And strangely, one thing that made me realize or made me understand burnout, or in a sense, help me, or give me like a therapy session in a sense, was anime. I know anime's got the cool things that we got the fights, we got all these things. However, with certain animes, it tells a story. And this is what manga authors do. They dive into their experiences or certain things that happen in life, and they give their take in terms of life itself. And I think with anime or certain anime or manga, it's so beautifully written that you sometimes resonate with it at your darkest times. And especially in my darkest times with feeling burnout, I looked up one anime, and that was Berserk. And I think we're looking at Berserk, there's many characters that we can all relate to. And I think in terms of this topic itself, burnout, I think one character that shined above everything else for me was Casca. I think let me just tell you the story in a sense. It's a young woman who never really had a childhood, very traumatic childhood, not a normal childhood that we experience now. Forced to grow up fast, to be strong, and in a sense, constantly told that they are not enough. And in a sense, she molded herself to build herself to become the strong individual, fast, respected by men, and all these things. However, that can all shift. In a sense, everything that she relied on, her friends, the leader that she loved, the one person that she had a connection with, just disappeared like that. And in a sense, forced into a role that she wasn't really prepared for, forced to become a leader, and in a sense, barely knew how to lead. But she did the best that she can. She kept fighting, protecting the men, and doing everything that she can to hold this mantle of protecting. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it hit hard. I think one scene that made me realize, or made me actually understand like burnout, is the one scene when she was speaking to Guts, where she said, I have nothing left. You don't understand what I've been going through. How am I meant to survive this? And watching her really hit me hard, because Casca wasn't tired of fighting for others. She was tired of fighting for herself. And that's what burnout is. In a sense, we can all have this routine of keeping on fighting for others, but sometimes we ain't got to fight for us. And I saw herself in me. In that sense, I felt her trapped, trying to protect others, but in a sense, she was slowly falling apart. And that's why her character is such a unique character. And in a sense, I learned a lot from her. That it's okay to be human. It's okay to have a burnout. And sometimes we just need moments alive, just to pause, breathe. And in a sense, all she wanted to be human again, have the people, have not all these worries and all these situations, but be able to be herself. And that's all she wanted. And in a sense, what I've learned from her was that burnout doesn't mean you're weak or lazy. It means that you've been strong enough for too long without rest. And the way to stop burnout from destroying your life is to push harder, but also to pause. Give yourself, in a sense, permission to exist, to be human again. And I think a lot of us feel like we always have to be superhumans and have to continuously go on the cycle. But sometimes you just need to take a step back. We all deserve peace, and we all are healing from something. And sometimes we all need to heal from our certain things. And in a sense, like in the video, how do you stop burnout? Or find peace. And in the sense, how I found my peace and what I would recommend with people is these three things: and how to find your peace or love again, to be human again. I think one thing that I learned especially was meditation, not the forced picture perfect where you have to find this visionary thing. No, I think with meditation, it's simply just being in the room in darkness and letting your mind breathe. And you might be thinking, letting your mind breathe, what do you mean? Everything with meditation, in a sense, I believe, is that sometimes we don't let our mind breathe. We are in a sense of, overload. We get so much things. We have people's expectations, problems, emotions. We never let them go. They're continually circling in our minds, continuously. And without, so we're carrying all these things which are draining our energy. But sometimes not sometimes, you have to let them go. Sometimes you have to just turn your lights off, lay there for 15 minutes, and just let your mind do what it has to do. Get all these expectations, all this imagination, all these things that have been clogged up in your brain, let them go. And without letting them go, you're letting that burden, all these shackles off, for you to think again, for you to be free again, for you to look past and not be held down by your mind. And let your thoughts be your thoughts again, not others' thoughts. And let your mind breathe and rest. And the second thing is learn to say no. A lot of us think we are superhumans, and a lot of people believe that we are superhumans. However, I'll just say sometimes you just gotta say no. And the reason I say no to other people is because if you continue being this thing, sometimes you let them down and you exhaust all these things to help people, and then they see you in a certain way. In a sense, I honestly believe you gotta protect your energy. You gotta protect your flame. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone your peace. It's your peace. And if saying no is your peace, then that's perfectly fine. And you just have to say no. And the last thing, the most important thing, is visualize your peace. And this one's very important. And I think this one is in the sense of thinking in the end. As above, as below. In a sense, we are put in a cycle where we believe that this has to happen, and in a sense, we're trapped in this box where we don't see anything greater, and we're just living. Like, for example, you go out on holiday, enjoy yourself, and you come back and the cycle continues. I think it's more about looking outside and believing that there is more for yourself. If you want the holiday dream job or a lifestyle that you want, you have to believe and see yourself at the end. And seeing yourself there allows you to be, in a sense, motivated and be able to control your thoughts, not let these negative thoughts control your mind. In a sense, seeing the end of what you are truly doing everything for. If you truly have nothing to do, or you believe that there's no end goal, you're going to be trapped in this box for the rest of your life. Imagine your peace, imagine your beach, imagine sun, money, success, all these things, and truly understand what you're doing. Because you ain't got no, or you don't see any end goal for it, you're just going to be trapped in this box for the rest of your life. Now, hopefully, you take these things, and hopefully, you let your flame reignite and continue your journey and prevent burnout from destroying your life.